I'm considering pursuing a PhD just so I can do a thesis study on disrespectful people because the level of disrespect I'm seeing in the world today has become astronomical. I don't understand where it comes from because it literally doesn't take much effort to be a decent human being. Literally no effort at all. And there are a lot of different ways that people disguise disrespect. The first one I'm going to talk about is jokes. People think that they can hide their disrespect in jokes and then you should just go along with it. Like, just play it. We're just playing around, this and that. No, 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 no. That is one of the major ways people around you are going to disguise disrespect. They're going to make jokes that they shouldn't be making. And especially when they do it in public settings around other people and they bring up something sensitive that other people shouldn't know about. This is one of the major ways I found that people like to disrespect each other. And I don't understand why people do it. It doesn't take any effort to be a good person. Why do you even want to disrespect me? A lot of times when somebody's disrespectful to me, the first thing that comes to my mind is one, what did I do to you for you to like want to disrespect me? Number two, how much of a bitch do you think I am that you think it's okay to disrespect me? And three, how am I going to respond to this? Because your response is everything. And I'm going to get to the response a little bit later. But dealing with disrespectful people is crazy. And everywhere you look around, you see the disrespect. And especially amongst friends. The jokes ones comes amongst friends, but there are a lot more people that are disrespectful than just friends. I think about when it comes to driving. Driving is another big place where people get uber disrespectful. People like to honk their horns for like 2 straight minutes, just brother. We are all in cars. I could smash. You are assuming that I care about my life right now. And that is a bad assumption to make, not for me specifically, but just in general. The fact that you think that you can just honk your horn at people, flip people off, cut people off, and just roll down your window and say some disrespectful things, no lie. When I was driving one day, I seen somebody roll their window down and throw a Burger King cup out of their Jeep and try to hit a truck. And the reason I knew it was a Burger King cup is because it was a supersized cup. So I know this was a fat mug in the car. It was a big old Burger King cup. Threw it out the window, tried to hit this truck, missed the truck, and then I saw the Jeep swerve into the shoulder and try to swerve back and get its bearings. I was hoping he slammed into the wall. I hope people like that wrap around the telephone pole. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but what was the purpose of that? Because the person was driving the speed limit and you weren't happy about that? Or even if they cut you off, if you want to give a little boom boom to alert somebody, that's understandable. Throwing a Burger King cup, and mind you, they threw it from the driver's seat. I was looking, their car wasn't tinted, fishbowl, so I was able to see them throw it from the driver's seat through the passenger's window and try to hit that car. And then when that car sped up, that Jeep tried to change lanes, lost control, and almost ran into a freaking cement wall. And I was so upset when they didn't. I was so upset. I was hoping that Jeep went up in flames. I hope the person didn't die. Don't get it twisted, but I hope it would have ruined their day. But that is one place where I see a lot of disrespect. And you motorcycle riders is crazy. And I love motorcycles. I ride motorcycles. Disrespectful motorcycle riders confuse the hell out of me. Brother, you are unprotected. They are in a cage, a 3 to 5,000 pound cage, depending on the car, and it can accelerate. And if it hits you, God bless you, you're gonna be a pancake. They're gonna be scraping you off the pavement with a spatula if they felt like it. But motorcycle riders ride around punching out people's side view mirrors. And here's the thing, I understand there are some bad drivers out there. I'm gonna do a whole video about bad drivers, but I get it. But a lot of times, these people don't realize that they're inconvenience to others, called Hallen's razor. Most people are just caught up in their own lives, and you shouldn't attribute to malice what can be explained with stupidity or incompetence. So, a lot of times, these people are just incompetent. And then when you bash their side view mirror in, all you've done is made it more dangerous for the next motorcycle rider, you moron, because motorcycles are already hard enough to see. And then you want to go ahead and be an asshole to this person who you don't know what they're going through. Their mind could be somewhere else. I agree, they probably shouldn't be on the road if they can't stay focused. But motorcycle riders being disrespectful and then disrespectful to other motorcycle riders is crazy to me, especially if you come across one of them 1 percenter clubs. God bless. But the level of disrespect I see on the road pisses me the hell off. And when it comes to public in general, grocery stores are one place where I understand. Well, not just grocery stores everywhere, but grocery stores especially, because you wouldn't believe how many times I'll be reaching for something, and then somebody will come just reach over me to the point where it's like, God damn, boy, this is damn near assault at this point. Like, people will reach over, reach around, you damn near give you a reach around to grab something when there is a simple word out there. It's excuse me. And for whatever reason, I don't think people's ever been taught that. Or you could just wait. Who taught you people manners? I think when kids aren't taught manners at a young age, they grow up and they just become menaces to society. Because a lot of these people I can tell are kids who were never taught proper manners. Because there's no way you learned manners and you think it's cool to reach over somebody or bump into somebody and not say excuse me or apologize. When you go into like prisons, and I know this is a strange segue, but they are highly respectful towards each other because they know that any level of disrespect could end in bloodshed. And I think that's where we lost the plot. We used to be a proper country where if somebody was disrespectful to you, or especially if somebody was disrespectful to your woman, man, you pull out that glove, you smack him in the face with it. I can have no greater satisfaction. And then you go outside and you shoot each other. You get dueling pistols, take 20 steps, turn around, aim up, bow. Now, the reason they were comfortable doing that is because those pistols were about as accurate as a blind man playing darts. But people still died, and it was still dangerous. Matter of fact, I think Alexander Hamilton died in a duel. You guys need to understand that a lot of these people do the things that they do because there's no actual consequences. And when you give them the consequences, then they'll call the police. They need to have some kind of law where it's like an antagonistic law. Like if you antagonize somebody and they give you the ooh wop shabizang, they should be allowed to get a pass. You know, maybe some community service or something like that. Like you shouldn't have done what you did, but you provoked it. And I think that that should be allowed. By far, the biggest culprit of disrespect is social media. And I understand why people are disrespectful on there. They're hiding behind uh fake profiles. They don't post their real face. They don't post their real names. You never really know who this person is. User XG752-3. Look, bro, the fact that people are openly disrespectful on social media, like a woman could post a picture of herself in an outfit. And yeah, I understand. Sometimes these women do set themselves up. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes y'all shouldn't be posting these pictures. But I'm not gonna say nothing crazy to you. I'm just gonna look at it and keep swiping. But every now and then I read the comments and they'll be like, Jesus Christ, is that a dress or a circus tent? And I'm just like, yo, my guy, what was the purpose of that comment? Like, if you want to give some constructive criticism, like, yo, I think you might want to try something that better suits your physique or something like that. I can understand trying to be kind and trying to, give somebody some advice because not everybody has a good fashion sense. But some of the things that people say on the internet is crazy. The the worst, some of the worst things you can do on the internet is post a neck tattoo if you're a guy. I don't know if you guys go on TikTok when you get a chance after you watch the video to completion and search neck tattoo and then look at the comment section. I'm talking if you get a neck tattoo and it says freedom, somebody be like, "Oh, you got that free throat." If you have a goat on it, because somebody put goat, greatest of all times, they're like, "Oh, you a throat goat." You can. It doesn't really matter what you put on there. If you, the neck tattoos is, if you want to see top level creative disrespect, just look up neck tattoos. But on a serious note, social media is one place where people get so disrespectful. Matter of fact, there was a video I did on this lady who was disrespected on social media, found the guy, drove, which I think like a few hours to his job, and she was like, "Hey, you remember me? You left a crazy comment on my page, and you see how easy it is for me to find you." And I think that people need that. Now, what I said in the video, that if that was me, that lady would have been staring down the barrel of a 9mm. But I understand why she might have done what she did. She taught that man a valuable lesson. You can be touched, you can be found. And people need to understand that there are people out there. There's a guy on TikTok where if you post any picture, I don't know how he's managed to memorize Google Maps, but he's been able to pinpoint people exactly where they're at. People will be like, well, where am I now? And he's like, all right, look, based on the background, this looks like a rural area. All right, I see certain license plates. I'm gonna search it up. All right, these streets here and there. And he pinpoints them to the exact location. I'm not talking about within a few hundred feet or nothing like that. I'm talking about exactly where the picture was taken. So you guys need to really be careful with your level of disrespect on the internet, because you have no idea how easy it is to find you. I don't give a damn about all your freaking little VPNs and all that. Trust me, there are people out there who can bypass that. There are people out there. The workplace is another one that baffles me. How dare you disrespect me? Like, do you know I know where you work? Like, I know what car you drive. I know what time you show up, what time you go home. I could just follow you. I'm not talking about me. I wouldn't do any of this. But you never know what somebody has going on in their personal life. And for you to be disrespectful to people you work with, whether it's, overtly with like like disrespecting them to their face, calling them names, or demeaning them, or overtly, which is like starting rumors behind people's backs, which is a form of disrespect. You think that it is okay to do that with people who know like intimate things about you, like where you work, where you live, your family, and things of that nature. Almost every job makes people do online training for workplace violence, but I think they need to do like workplace cause and effect. We always skip straight to the violence. Nobody ever talks about what leads up to the violence. I think that's very important. You guys are very disrespectful in the workplace, especially some of you supervisors. I don't know if supervisors understand this, but your status is not real. Your authority is not real. Like, your authority is only as secure as I give a damn about this job. And once I don't give a damn about this job, the next time you disrespect me, I'm gonna slap the dog shit out you. And that's not necessarily the best way to go about things. But some of these shift supervisors, walkie talkies in the ear, thinking that they're Delta Force, they disrespect people, and it's like, bro, everybody else here makes $18 an hour. You make 21. Woo. Everybody should have a certain level of respect for authority figures. Even if it's a shift leader or shift supervisor or something like that, you should have a certain level of respect for these people. However, these people have no right to disrespect you. You guys need to understand that you cannot disrespect people for no reason. And the only reason it's allowed in places like the army is because you have things like the UCMJ. And if you like disrespect an officer back, you can go to jail, which I think is crazy. The UCMJ should be reserved for like wartime deployments. The fact that they still abide by the UCMJ in garrison and in peacetime completely boggles my mind. But we're not going to get into the military. There are a lot of other subtle things that people do that you may not realize is disrespect. One of those is making plans in front of you and not including you in them. This is disrespectful. I understand everybody don't belong everywhere, but if it's people you know and they plan on doing something and not including you, the fact that they're so comfortable like making their plans in front of you, knowing damn well they're not about to invite you to it, I think is, if not disrespectful, is extremely rude. You never know. Maybe this person might have wanted to hang out with you guys. Maybe now they're questioning themselves. There may be a legitimate reason for why they can't come with you guys. But if you are going to plan something and you're going to do it in front of somebody and you're not going to include them, you have to understand that you're being rude, and I honestly think you're being purposefully disrespectful at that point. On that same note, in the workplace or anywhere really, people whispering in front of you is uber rude. Like, why are you having a conversation in front of me that I'm not supposed to be privy to? Like, why would you do that? Like, go somewhere. And like, I can mind my own business, but there is a certain level of decorum that you're just supposed to have. I'm gonna mind my own business, but you're having conversations in earshot of me and I'm not supposed to hear it. Go somewhere. Like, don't have these conversations in front of me. Especially if you're talking about something you're probably not supposed to be talking about. I don't want to be implicated in any of it. The only way to combat this is you need to be rude back. And I know this is the craziest thing to say, but when people are rude or disrespectful to you, you gotta disrespect them back. You have to. I'm a firm believer you have to meet disrespect with disrespect. At that point, it's just self defense. Like, if somebody hits you and you hit them back, everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. But if somebody says something foul to you and you say something equally or even more foul, they're like, yo, did you really have to go there? Yes, I did. Because it don't pay to be the bigger person all the time. Everybody being the bigger person is the reason this person feels so comfortable with disrespecting people, because everybody around them just chooses to be the bigger person. Look, I'm a God-fearing man, and in the Bible it does say to turn the other cheek. Unfortunately, I am not in the Bible, so I'm gonna do my best to be a biblical man, but I'm not always gonna turn the other cheek. And I'm not always gonna be the bigger man. I'm 6'2", 240. According to statistics, I'm bigger than 86% of the population. Every now and then I can shrink down a little bit and reach your level. And you know something that boggles my mind? A lot of times when you give them the reaction they're looking for, they disrespect you, they're rude to you, you give them the reaction that they've been hoping for. You've damn near begged me to do this to you, pause. And then when I finally do it, it's like, yo, chill out, bro. What's all this about? No, 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 no. You don't get to play the victim after you done disrespected me. You don't get to do that. And even if you want to play the victim, that's cool because I am about to violate you. Pause. Because you started. I am not a big proponent of letting disrespectful people slide or letting them play the victim. Because at the end of the day, you started it. And like I mentioned, it is your duty. It is your civic duty to respond to disrespect with disrespect because if not, then they are going to continue to believe that they can just get away with whatever because other people have to be the bigger person. You need to check this behavior right then and there because if you don't, people are going to continuously disrespect you. You know, this is going to be another weird segue. It happens in the dating conversations a lot. They say, hey, if you find a chick is smashing your girl, don't check the dude. You need to check your girl. Both of y'all can get the business. I don't know who decided that because at the end of the day, if I don't do nothing to this guy, then he's gonna go around telling everybody what happened to me. Now I'm like fish food. People gonna think that you can just push up on my woman whenever. I kind of gotta do something too. You know, it don't necessarily gotta mean like I take your life or beat you up, but I'm probably gonna beat you up, or at least I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna give you a fight of your life because at the end of the day, if I do nothing, then that opens me up for more disrespect. People are gonna continuously try me. Sometimes, even if you lose, you still gotta go out there and fight. Because Dave Chappelle was talking about this in his special. Sometimes you gotta be the lion so you can be the lamb you really want to be. I don't like conflict. That's a lie. I don't want to always be in drama. I don't always want drama following me. So when it finds me, I make sure I check it immediately. I deal with it right then and there. And I want you to go tell your friends about me and let them know, hey, he's not the one to play with. You absolutely right. Go find you something safe to play with and don't let it be me. And don't let that be you either. And to round it out, if somebody around you is disrespectful to you, that's friends, that's family, and that's coworkers. The people that you see on a regular basis, you cut them off immediately. You cut them off. You don't speak to them again. Keep it real. Like if it's at work, obviously you still have to interact with the person, but you keep it professional. You only talk to them when it comes to work matters, and then when the work matters is over with, that's it. No more. Because people need to understand that there's consequences to messing with you. That's what I'd say on this matter. I know this is different than my usual conversations about freedom, but hell no, this is a version of freedom. If you want to live a free life, you need to make sure that people know not to mess with you. Be easy.